if x plus 1 over y equals 2 and y plus 1 over z is a half, then what is the value of the product x times y times z? Now when they're saying a value, they basically mean taking x, y, z, which is three variables, and you're going down to a number that only has 0 variables. Now sometimes you just as a destroyer, you can just go straight down the 0 variables, but other times you might not be that lucky. You might have to get rid of x and then get rid of y and then get rid of x and then get rid of z. Or you might be able to get rid of 2 at a time, x and then y, and then you have to get rid of z all by itself. But you never know. There's tons of different problems that work like this. So, well, this first equation right here, you can probably tell that variables and fractions is going to get us no closer to 0. Variable is right down there. So of course we have to get rid of these fractions first. Can do that easily by just multiplying by the denominator, which is just y. So we have xy plus 1 equals 2y. Whatever. And now we already have an xy right there. There's an xy and xyz. So we basically want to keep this xy around. And in fact, we can see that we can keep this xy and only xy on the left-hand side by subtracting 1 from both sides. And then, well, XYZ. We solved for xy, and now we just took away x. And so it's really that easy. It's not like these algebra equations are that hard. All you need to do is know where you're going, because you can't just blindly run around in these equations until you think you found something. So xy is 2y minus 1. And we still have that little z sitting right there. And because we don't want the z, right, we want to get down to 0 variables, right? Just say there's 3 variables, this is 2 variables, this 1 variable. We're done with this part. Now we need to get to one variable and then 0 variables. So we need to get rid of z. Well, this equation is, we probably use this equation till its limits, limits right now. It's kind of out of oil, so we can't start up the engine again and keep going, because at least to help us get rid of x, right? So we can use this equation. Well, similarly to this equation, we have to get rid of those fractions first by multiplying by 2z. I just get 2 times yz plus 2 equals z. Equals z. Okay. Now, see a z here. I see a z here. We obviously can't get rid of z when there's z's all over the place. So we need to get all the z terms on one side and get all the numbers on the other side. Subtract. We can do that by just subtracting 2yz from both sides. And I think all of you watching this video can know how I can factor. Just like this. 2y minus 1 times z. No, the opposite, sorry. 1 minus 2y, not the opposite. And we can divide by 1 minus 2y. And there we go. We can just stick in 2 over 1 minus y. And I think we probably got lucky here. In fact, this is probably what the problem was designed to do. See that the variable we have is y, and we already have a y here. So it's not like when we solve for z, we made x come alive again. It's not like that. So now we only have one variable. It's not like, okay, we got rid of z, but then we get x again. It's not like that. So now we just have y, which is a good thing, because that means when we only have 1/3 of a problem left to go. So we have 2y minus 1 times 2 over y minus 2y. 1 minus 2y. And then we just multiply these together. Get 2 times 2y minus 1 in the numerator over 1 minus 2y. Now, I think you might know this. In fact, you probably know this, that we can flip 2y minus 1 around as long as we take out the negative sign and put it beside the 2. So we can flip this around. Take the negative sign out. And now can cancel some numerators and denominators. You can just take out these. And we just have negative 2 in the end. Now, you know that a lot of times, like, in fact, it's not a lot of times, all the times, people don't care how you got the answer, right? Because if you got the answer like a stupid way, they're just like, oh, wow, I didn't know that you could do it like that. There's like if somebody doesn't know how to do a problem and then you do the problem the stupid way and then you show them how to do it, they'll still be odd, right? They'll still be like, wow, how did you do that, right? And also, you can use the same thing works with tests, right? They don't care how you got the answer, and in fact, if you don't know how to answer, like if you just guessed like a random number and then it's right, well, the math class people don't care if you just guessed a random number. What they do care about is that you got the right answer. So if you just randomly picked any number in the universe and then like if you got super lucky and then you picked negative 2, well then you got it right, and then you get a point for that, right? Like nobody cares how you got the answer, right? So really, we can use that to our advantage, because you see, in this problem, the only restrictions for x, y, and z is that y and z can't be 0 because they're dividing by 0 in these equations. So we can just stick a number in for x, y, or z, and then we can just run out the equations, and then we just multiply x, y, and z, and then get our answer. And hopefully it's negative 2. So, well, in this first equation, y is the most restricted because it can't be 0, right? Because I don't want to start with x and accidentally pick 2 for x, and then 1 over y can't be 0 because, well, the numerator is 1, the denominator. There's no way you can, like, any number that's non-zero will give you a number that's non-zero, or you can't divide by 0. So y can't be 0. Well, it can be anything other than that. I'm gonna pick 1 because if y is 1, well then 1 over y is 1, and then x is 1. So now I just know y is 1. Remember, I'm just guessing. Y could be 5 gazillion, right? That's probably not gonna be that big, but you get my point. Y could be any number. We're just guessing y is 1, which means x is 1. Then we just stick in 1 for y, and we have y plus 1 over z equals a half. Now first it might be like, how do we take a number, add another number, and get a number that's smaller? Well, remember, you can add a negative to subtract, meaning the difference between 1 and a half is only a half, meaning 1 over z has to be negative 1/2 to add a negative. Well, then that just means z is negative 2. Of course, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, and we got 2 answers. They're both negative 2, meaning we're pretty sure that we are right.